Good day and welcome to the Sport Rap Show. I am your host Jesse Jackson Kauraitha, updating you on the latest sports news. We will go now for the hit list, that is the latest stories. Well, Marcel Papama is eager to impress in Botswana. Former African stars and Civics midfielder Marcel Papama has vowed to help his new club Jwaneng Galaxy succeed in the Botswana Premier League. Papama, who recently joined the club, is yet to make his official appearance due to pending work permit documents. But the player revealed that the permit will be out of the way soon. The Brave Warriors midfielder has been in Botswana since 31 January after penning a deal with the club. That was Marcel Papama. Well, another one, the Spa Gondwana Marathon Moon Valley was launched. The first of its kind Spa Gondwana Moon Valley Marathon was launched in Windhoek this morning. The marathon will take place in Swakopmund on 19 March and will see some of Namibia's top marathon runners taking part in the competition. The event is open to all runners who would like to compete in a full and half marathon or a 10-kilometer race. In order to register, please see details on the Gondwana Facebook page. Limba Mpeteami compiled this video for you.
Thank you everybody, welcome. It's a big privilege for us to be here and also be involved in another race, but this one is quite an exciting one for us. You know that in COVID times, the 2 years that's gone by, COVID really hit us hard. On a business level, on a personal level, and it was tough for everybody. It was tough to make business. And that, therefore, and you will ask us, why do Spa and Gondwana be in one with the race? And we've got a lot of similarities, and that's why we want to say, listen, let's give back to some to the community and some other runners, and everybody just want to have fun. Some of the similarities is that we are both proudly Namibian companies. We cater for our clients in a truly Namibian fashion, and everybody that knows Namibia knows there's a spot in every town, and there's all the nice Gondwana lodges all over the country where you can stay. So we do cater for our local Namibian market, but as well as the tourists. The tourists are a big part of our business, and also for Gondwana, it's a really big part of their business. So therefore we really want to put our hands together and say, listen, let's do something together so that we can give back to the communities. So therefore it's a privilege for us to be in a partnership with Poolman, and we really look forward in having this race, and it's like I said, it's a really privilege for us. Thank you.
Welcome back. The Commerce Darts organization will hold its meeting that will enable them to set their season in motion tonight in Windhoek. The meeting will also serve as a registration center for those clubs that are eager to compete this season. The Commerce Darts League has been operating for over 25 years and has been currently host to 6 clubs. The league does not get any funding from corporate Namibia and sources funds for registered clubs. The Namibia Sports Commission only funds the National Darts Association with few money. That's what Doiseb said. Well, on to your next story. Nakathila goes up in weight. Former global junior lightweight champion Jeremiah Loki Nakathila says he has gone up his weight class because he wants a new challenge. Well, Jeremiah Nakathila will be fighting that on the 26th of March in the United States of America. One of the things that he mentioned is that he was fighting for the junior lightweight division, but has now moved up for the lightweight division. He, however, says that the move is not permanent at the moment, as he might revert back to the lightweight to the junior lightweight division. Well, let's hope that Nakathila continues to push as he fights Mexico's Miguel Barshad, that's in the United States of America. Well, he says that he is ready and has been preparing for the fight ever since. On to the next one. Cohen maintains Fistball dominance. Cohen Fistball Club retained the Category A title while Swakopmund Fistball Club defended the Category B trophy in the Bank Windhoek Fistball League's opening tournament played at the weekend in Swakopmund. CFC1 prevailed in the preliminary rounds against every opponent they faced with favorable weather conditions. Backed up by the home turf advantage, CFC had the upper end against Sport Club Windhoek, Sport Club SKV 4 as well as CFC 3. Well, that was it from the Cohen FC. And on to your next one. Well, the women's team is now in Zambia and ready to rumble as they play Zambia in a very, very important fixture, which is the AFCON qualifiers. Woody Jacobs had this to say.
Nations Women's Qualifier, which is Zambia versus Namibia, which will be held tomorrow Wednesday at Koloma Stadium. We are privileged to have in our midst the head coach for the Namibia Women's National Team, Coach Woody Jacobs. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
He's not alone, he's with the captain, Eman Harris. Welcome. Okay. Coach and captain, welcome officially to Zambia. We just asked the coach to give us an overview of how Namibia has prepared for this game and what tomorrow's fixture, being the first leg, means to their team. Coach.
Yeah, thank you so much and for the welcoming remarks and welcoming us to Zambia, Lusaka. A big one tomorrow in terms of for both nations because and even bigger for Namibia because we haven't qualified for the African Women Cup of Nations, apart from the time that we hosted in 2014. So this team is on the brink of history, but in their face is a formidable opponent, a football-loving nation, Zambia, and also one of the nations in SADC that I've always admired as a coach because of the way they played football. Who can forget in 2012 when Zambia lifted the African Nations Cup, and also now the recent showing of the women's team at Tokyo also says a lot about the team that we are facing. In terms of Namibia, we've started, in my opinion, maybe a little bit late, but it's not an excuse in terms of the preparation. The girls know what is expected of them. And what they are facing, a formidable opponent, like I said. So yes, we've prepared well. We didn't have the luxury and the ability to play a friendly match like Zambia did on Saturday against Banyana. But we did manage to get some quality game time in. And we believe that we are ready for this one. And even if we're not ready, we need to be ready. So yes, we are here not to make up numbers. We're here not to come and come and do formalities. We're here to fight Zambia. Yes, Namibia and Zambia has historical ties in terms of the history that we share, in terms of the liberation fight, the fight for the liberation of for the independence of Namibia. But all those pleasantries will be put aside when we do battle tomorrow.
It's going to spin out to Morris now, and it's tucked home!
Get in! Who scored?
I did.
Sports fans know, whether you bet a little or a lot, with PSD Bet, you're not just watching, you're playing.
Yes! Who won? Me!
And with over 1 million paid out to winners each month, your life can get very interesting. So kick things off by going to pstbet.com. And if you don't get your winnings within one business day, we'll double it. Why watch when you can play at pstbet.com?
Welcome back. In our Tuesday section for Sports Legends, our reporter Andrew Poolman caught up with one of Namibia's leading hockey coaches, Johann Weyhe, for a brief overview of his career. This is what he had to say.
So today we are here with Mr. Johann Weyhe, a very well-known hockey coach and umpire. Mr. Weyhe, can you maybe just tell us how you got involved in hockey and also where you grew up?
Andrew, I grew up in Botswana, a small little town called Ganzi, very small town. We stayed over there for 13 years, was born in Ganzi. We then immigrated to at that stage, Southwest Africa. My dad was a teacher and we moved to Swakopmund. He was a hockey player, but in Swakop they didn't have hockey at that stage. I played tennis and I was an athlete in the shorter distances and then also in long jump and high jump and so on. But when we moved to Windhoek, where hockey was played, I then started in 1974, 75, I started to play hockey.
So you also played for Southwest Africa at the time. What was the highlights of your playing career, you would say?
Well, I would say at that stage, just to play for Southwest Africa was already achievement on its own. I played for schools. Then after my school days, I then went to the army at that stage, thereafter to university, and where I then was selected for the South Africa university sides and colleges sides. And that was one of my achievements, high achievements, where we could play against top teams and visiting teams from Europe and wherever they came from to play against us.
Okay, so from there you went directly into coaching also. What you've had a long career in coaching also. What would you say are some of the highlights in your coaching career?
Andrew, yes, I think with the coaching, learning from other people like a Mr. Martins Bakkers, like a Mr. Weyhe, like a Dr. Jabber, that is very well known in Namibia. I think the seed was planted over there for me one day to think I also would like to become a coach or maybe an umpire, just to follow their footsteps and achieve into that direction as well. So at an early age already, I started to umpire when I was in standard 9. That was nowadays the grade 11. I started to umpire and then also to help with the coaching at the school where I was schooling, and that was in Jan Moore.
Okay, so what would you say is maybe the best advice that you ever received in your career as a hockey player?
Well, Andrew, short and simple, and I learned it from those three hockey gurus, Mr. Martins Bakkers, Mr. Weyhe, Dr. Jabber. Never become bigger than the game. Never. If you do that, my advice to you, who's watching and who's listening, get out of the game and try another sport code, because you're not needed in the game then anymore. Never become higher or bigger than the game.
Okay, so would you say, are there any regrets that you have in your career in hockey?
If I take my hockey career, I think at the stage you want to please everyone on all stages, as in a player, as an umpire, and as a coach, instead of concentrating on one of them and then achieve. So you're missing out with all the other stuff, and your years are passing, and eventually you're missing out. And maybe that is one of my biggest regrets, that I not at a very early stage went into coaching and just lived my life as a coach, but only at the later stage started to coach national sides and at universities and help with their coaching over there.
Yeah, so through your career you've had significant success as coach of Windhoek High School and at school level, club level, also with Namibia. Are there any other goals that you have set for yourself that you want to achieve in hockey?
Andrew, you know, no human being on earth becomes younger. We tend to become older over the years. Yes, I mean, my years are also running out. As a coach or whatever, as an umpire, I'm not umpiring anymore. But as a coach, I am involved. I am the national coach for the under-21 men. And this year, we've got the under-21 World Cup qualifier, the Africa qualifier. So my big goal is to make Namibia qualify for the World Cup that then will take place in 2023.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, welcome to another exciting edition.
Welcome back. It's always very special to have our golden oldies. Having to say something, and we can always learn a thing or two from them as well. That program will always bring you those people. So please don't always forget to stay tuned and watch such programs as they bring you some of the legends of the time. So now we cross over to our international correspondent, that's Ari Wochard, who brings us the latest international news.
Good day, everyone. It's time for international sport again, and we start off with Olympic Games, the Winter Olympic Games taking place in Beijing in China, the 24th Winter Olympics. And we start with freestyle free ski, and in the women's section, it was the women's big air final, and there it was the Chinese Eileen Gu that won, and she was up till 2019 an American citizen. Her mother was born in China, and she took up Chinese citizenship in 2019, so she won gold for China in the big air final. That is Eileen Gu of China. Second place was the Tess Ledoux. In the free ski slopestyle final, also the women, it was Mathilde Grémeau of Switzerland that was the winner, and in second place was another Chinese athlete, that was Eileen Gu. And moving on to the men's section, the men's slopestyle snowboard. The big news there was 17-year-old Chinese athlete, and his name is Su Yiming, just 17 years old, and he managed to win a silver medal at the Olympic Games. He just came in second, and the gold medal was won by Maxine Perrault of Canada. So great performance by 17-year-old Su Yiming from China. And some more news from China is that's to do with the Russian figure skater. Her name is Kamila Valieva, and she was in the news because she failed a drug test, but she was allowed to still compete. She's just 15 years old, and in the meantime, her camp made a statement. She said that she was contaminated by her granddad's medicine. So that was one of the reasons given by her camp and by her, but she's allowed to compete in the figure skating final for women. Now let's continue with some tennis news, and it's Novak Djokovic that was quite in the news with the Australian Open, and he was in the news because he was deported for not being vaccinated before the Australian Open took place a few weeks ago, and he broke his silence, and he said he's not part of any anti-vaccination movement, but he said he strongly believes in an individual's right to choose. So it's still uncertain if he will be able to compete in Wimbledon in London and in the French Open in Paris. Those regulations are yet to be confirmed by those two countries for him to compete, if he can compete not being vaccinated. Quickly, other scores from tennis tournaments taking place at the moment. On the men's tour, it's the ATP Rio Open, and one score from there is that Carlos Alcaraz, he beat Juno Munu. He is a countryman of him of Spain, and it was in 3 sets to go through to the next round. In the ladies tour, it is a Dubai duty-free championship, Dubai duty-free championship taking place in Dubai. Of course, it's a WTA 500 tour event, and there it was Petra Kvitova of the Czech Republic. She got the better of Camila Giorgio, and she's from Italy, and the score was 6-2 and 6-love. And now we continue on with some cycling news. It is the Oman Tour of Oman cycle tour that's taking place at the moment. And the news from there is one of the early leaders, Mark Cavendish from the United Kingdom. He had a hard fall, unfortunately, and he battled to finish the 5th stage, but he did continue the 5th stage. He won the 2nd stage. He's known as to be a sprinter. And the winner of the 5th stage was the Czech rider, Jan Hurt. And he won in 3 hours 35 minutes, and he was about 39 seconds ahead of the second person. And overall, it is still Jan Hurt of Czech Republic that is leading, and he is 39 seconds ahead of Masnaba Fausti of Italy. And let's conclude with some rugby news. It's the Heineken Six Nations currently on the way. There are already 2 weeks of action played. And one result was that France beat Ireland by 30 points to 24. That was in Paris. And because of that result, France moved up on the world rankings. They're up now to number 4 in the world rankings. And it is Ireland that go down to number 5. Rankings at the moment is South Africa is at number 1, followed by New Zealand, number 2, and then England is ranked 3rd in the world. England had an easy win in Italy. They beat Italy by 33 points to 0. That was in the second round of the Heineken Six Nations, and that resulted for Italy to go down to number 14 in the world rankings. Other countries I can maybe mention is Namibia is at 24, and Zimbabwe is ranked 33 at the moment. So that's all the international sports news at the moment. I hope you have a great day. We'll talk again tomorrow. Goodbye.
And succeed with PST Bet.
So, where were we?
PST Bet. You play, we pay. Not for persons under the age of 18.
Welcome back. Well, it is important to note that tomorrow it will be crunch time for the Brave Gladiators. That will be up against Zambia. It is an important fixture on the calendar, the AFCON Women's Qualifiers match. The Brave Gladiators will have to do well away from home in order to stand a good chance of qualifying to this tournament. Well, they still have a home fixture, which will be home away from home. That will be in South Africa. Remember, the Brave Gladiators are playing in South Africa due to the fact that Namibia doesn't have FIFA accredited standard field, and that's why they will be playing in South Africa. One of the most important things they will have to do in this competition is to score an away goal, which will be very important and crucial in such a match. Remember that any score draw away from home and a 0-0 draw at home for the Brave Gladiators will book them a place that's at the African Women Championship. They have played in this competition before. That was in 2014. But well, in 2014, they played due to the credentials of being the home team. This time around, they will have to do the hard task by qualifying. They have already made a good step ahead, and they are just one step away from qualifying to this tournament. Remember, this tournament also serves as a qualifier to the World Cup. So if Namibia happens to beat that Zambia over 2 legs and actually manages to go through to the next rounds of the African Women's Championship, that will be in Morocco, they will actually be able to qualify. That's to the World Cup. Well, Namibia has never qualified to the World Cup before. Not even the male team has done that before. So let's hope that Woody Jacobs and his Chargers will be able to deliver on the promise they have made. Remember, at a previous press conference, Woody Jacobs said that his team will be able to do the job. He is confident in the crop of players that they have. As well, on the international scene, there is the Champions League return, which is also important to note that tonight the Champions League return, European champions will be able to battle it out again. This is a big one, especially for the likes of Real Madrid, PSG, and this is the round of 16. So it is very important. As well, in the English Premier League, we know that Manchester United also plays tonight. Man United has been struggling and the club is really under so much pressure. Well, from me, Jesse Jackson Kauraisa, don't forget to catch us again live tomorrow, the same place, same time. Ciao. you.